Hey everybody, welcome back to Sisters at the Cinema. This is Valerie.
And this is Amanda, and today we're talking about The Fall Guy, the 2024 release, starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Hannah Waddingham. I don't know if that's how to pronounce her last name, but let's go with it. And one of my faves, I don't know if it's one of Valerie's faves, but Winston Duke.
Yeah, he's awesome, from Black Panther. I can't really say I know him from much else, but from Black Panther, yes.
Yeah, really like him. Hope he has a pretty good career coming.
Yeah.
Um, he's done some good stuff. Quick synopsis from IMDb. He's a stunt man, and like everyone in the stunt community, he gets blown up, shot, crashed, thrown through windows, and dropped from the highest of heights for all our entertainment, or all for our entertainment. And now, fresh off of an almost career ending accident, this working class hero has to track down a missing movie star, solve a conspiracy, and try to win back the love of his life while still doing his day job. What could possibly go right?
All right, well, we ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
So, Colt is the movie stunt man, and Jody, she's the camera operator, and they're in a relationship.
And they're working on a movie together that is starring Tom Ryder.
Yeah, so he's this big actor in Hollywood.
And Colt is his stunt man.
Yes. And so Jody and Colt, they're in a relationship, but they kind of try to keep it under wraps because they work together. At least that's the vibe I got. So Colt gets a call to come redo a stunt for Tom for this big movie they're working on, and where he has to fall multiple stories to the ground. And so they prep him with harnesses and all the stuff. We see him getting ready to do this big stunt, and he jumps down, and something goes horribly wrong. And he hits the ground, breaking his back.
Makes me think of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hillary, will you marry me? Splat. But Colt made it, thankfully.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about nothing.
Exactly. So
he survived the fall, but I think it was, 10 or 11 stories?
Oh, I don't even know how high, but it's crazy because, right, that's something that he really could have died from. But
he broke his back, though.
Yeah. And so they, frantically rush him to the hospital. And then they fast forward to 18 months later.
Yep.
And so Cole has been avoiding Jody all of this time. And I think he just didn't want her to see him that way.
Yeah, because we could tell through flashbacks, we can tell that she was very supportive of him during the time after his fall.
Right.
But he,
he couldn't handle it.
That male pride got to him.
Yeah, that male pride. That's a big thing right there because, she would have been right by his side because she loved him, helping him through it. But I think that's a huge thing because it takes away your livelihood, all of that, so it's hard, you understand, but he didn't go about it the right way.
Right.
Which is life, right?
Right.
So, go ahead.
One day he gets a phone call from Tom Ryder's manager saying, we're in Australia filming a movie and we need you to come be his stunt man. Jody is asking for you specifically. This is a movie she's directing. Please come save the day, essentially.
Right. Because he doesn't want to go.
Not at all.
But when she says Jody asks for you, he's like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
Get my boo back.
Yeah.
So Dan, the stunt coordinator, is working with Colt on the upcoming stunts. And after Colt does this big car crash scene, Jody sees his face and she's shocked.
She is shocked and she immediately says, get him out of here. I did not approve this. What is he doing here?
Yes. And he like, but I thought you asked for me, you know? That's what I was told. That's why I'm here.
Right.
She said she'll take any other stuntman but
Any.
him. But Dan insists that it needs to be him.
So it's been 1.5 years and Colt has not been working as this guy's stunt man.
Yeah.
Did they talk about who has been doing it and where that person is? Do you remember?
They don't necessarily talk about it, but we do see Tom later with some other stuntmen.
Right, but I'm saying, does Colt know why he got called in?
Oh, right.
Did they tell him anything?
I don't think so.
Because I feel like that's a missed
I'm not
detail.
Sure.
But we've only seen this movie once.
Right.
Thanks to my company that I work for. They let us see this movie for free one afternoon and bring a +1. So I brought Valerie.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen it again. So some of the details are a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
But I was curious if Colt was told a reason, because they've had a stuntman for the last 1.5 years. The movie is almost done, I think.
That's true.
So what happened to that guy?
Yeah, I can't recall if Gail told him that something was up with the other one and that's why they needed him there, or if she just said, we need you, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering. Something to think about.
Yeah. So Jody goes through and she's explaining the movie to Colt, and it's very similar to their relationship in ways. And she started using some of the stunt scenes kind of as revenge, by making him do stuff over and over and over again.
He getting tossed around.
Burnt up.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff. Mm-hmm.
Now that's a good way to get some revenge.
Right. And so they have like a pretty personal conversation in front of everybody.
Right.
But they're trying to like code it as they're talking about the movie.
Right.
It's pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious.
That it's changed over into,
their relationship.
Yeah. And how mad she is about how everything went down. So Colt confronts Gail about, lying to him. And she convinces him to stay on the film and tells him the leading man is missing and that this could hurt Jody's career because she can't finish, the movie.
Anything for Jody.
And so I think that answers kind of the question as far as did Tom know anything before he came? Because Gail tells him that the guy, that's not
she
true,
didn't tell him until
guy, not the stunt guy.
Right. And she didn't tell him that until he got there. To me,
right.
You can fly all the way to Australia and not know the whole story.
Oh yeah, because he was trying to get
doing
Jody.
It for Jody.
Yeah, that part I could see. Yeah. But yeah, even this part, this is about Tom, not the stunt man. Okay. After this, Jody finds Colt in his car crying because he's been thinking about their relationship, whole thing. And he says he wanted to apologize sooner, and they agree to work on the film and keep it professional. Colt goes to Tom's apartment to look for him, and he gets attacked by Tom's girlfriend.
Right. Who does the girlfriend know he's missing? Has she said anything?
I don't know. I think so.
Because she immediately starts trying to beat him up, and I think she got some kind of sword or something that don't look like you need to be playing with it.
Right. But it looks like a prop later, I think we see.
Oh, okay. And so this fight scene, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was unnecessary for her to come in like
that was a big scene for her just to be there for that moment, I think.
Yeah.
But I know she gave him some information, but yeah, is this scene really necessary?
Well, not necessarily the scene, just the fight part.
Okay.
I can understand him going to the apartment and her, being shocked to see someone in the house that she wasn't expecting.
Yeah. But
if that's truly Tom's girlfriend, I would expect her to know who Colt is.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah, I would
I
expect
guess
her to know who he is
hmm.
and not be trying to beat him up or kill him.
Especially because she seemed like she into stunts too, right?
Exactly. She's in the movie too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I thought that was strange.
That's valid, especially if Colt worked for Tom for a long time, even
Right.
before his accident.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But she does give him some useful information and tells him that there's a club that Tom frequents.
Yeah.
And tells him that he can try looking there for Tom. But she, to me, didn't seem concerned about Tom
okay.
at this point. So I don't know how long they've been together, but
yeah. That's funny.
Some girlfriend.
Well, Colt goes to the club that she told him about looking for Tom and end up getting drugged by this guy.
So did.
I think he asked him or somebody.
The drug dealer guy. Yeah. Like, he was the one who gave him some details on a hotel.
Okay.
That he might find Tom in, or get some more, or get some help in finding Tom. He told him to ask for Kevin, and something else he told him to ask for. It
was something like a code.
Yeah, it was a code word.
Yeah. And so they would know what he was talking about.
Yep. And so this whole time he's seeing unicorns and all kinds of hallucinations because he's on this drug, but he's also still on the case.
Right. Which is not the best idea. You might need to call it a night and start again tomorrow.
Right.
But not Colt.
Nope.
He finds out, he goes to the hotel and he gets the key to Tom's room. And lo and behold, there's a dead body.
On ice.
In the tub. So Colt freaks out about that. And do we think he thinks it's Tom?
No, I don't think he recognized who it was.
Okay. So after that, does he go back he gets back on the movie set?
He calls Gail, doesn't he? And he tells her what he found. And she tells him not to go to the police. But he does. And so he tells a cop, and they go back to the hotel room, and the body is gone.
You're right. Because he saw a cop on the street, didn't he?
Yep. He saw a cop on the street, and the body is gone.
Gone.
No like ice or nothing left. Right. Everything is gone. So this is when I really started to be like, okay, what's going on here? Something ain't adding up.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, they're making this mystery out of where's Tom. What happened to the stuntman. Okay. Well, back on the movie set, Jody says Colt can go ahead and finish the movie in place of Tom because now Tom is missing. So while they're working on the film, they kind of reconnect. You know, and Jody invites him out to karaoke because everybody's going.
Yeah.
But Gail, dirty Gail.
Yes, we now know that Gail is very dirty.
She comes up to him and says he needs to quit and
go back home.
Yeah, she gives him a ticket to go back home and thinks he's actually going to take it. But he does kind of he takes the tickets and you think he's going to leave. Colt finds out the movie is at risk of being canceled, you know, with Tom missing. So instead of leaving to go home, he's like, I need to keep looking for Tom.
I gotta save the day.
Yeah, for Jody. That's what it's all about. So he talks to Tom's assistant, and she had Tom's cell phone and said Tom's bodyguard was looking for it. You wondering, well, what's up with the phone? How did she get it? I don't know how she got it.
She's his assistant, so you know, pretty much. I don't question that necessarily, but I would be curious why she didn't give it to his bodyguard or give it to Gail, his manager.
Suspicious.
Right. She had to be.
Yeah, that's true. She tells Colt that she'll give it to him if she can get like a producer credit or something on the film. So,
oh yeah.
So at karaoke, Gail tells Jody that Colt left, and she gave him a ticket to go back home. So Jody is way upset.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking they're rekindling their relationship, you know? and he's just gonna leave and not say nothing.
Right.
So she's upset, rightfully so. But she was also upset with Gail because she said, "You making decisions without my approval."
Right.
It's Jodi's movie, so she's supposed to consult with her before she does all of this stuff. But we know that it's, there's a reason why she's not.
Right. And that's the second time Gail has done something without Jodi's permission.
Yeah.
Because first she invited Colt, and now she's sent him back home.
Right. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. So Jodi got a right to be upset with her.
Yeah.
So the whole scene with the assistant, these guys show up?
These guys show up while they're talking outside, like at a park or something, because they have a dog with them. And so they're talking about the phone, and these two guys come up and tase them.
Yeah, I think so.
And take the girl, the assistant, and put her in this big old truck. Somehow Colt now has the dog, and he and the dog take off like Scooby-Doo after the kidnappers and the assistant.
Yeah.
He finds a truck. I think he steals a truck from somebody and starts chasing them down the road.
So yeah, there's he catches up with them. There's a huge fight scene, which is one of the best, I think, action scenes of the film.
He catches up to their truck and somehow ends up on the back of it.
Yeah, I think he jumps.
So where's the dog?
The dog jumped too. For my remembrance, I think they both jump.
Oh, okay, stunt dog. Okay. So he and the dog end up on the back of this big old truck, and one of the bad guys is like, "Where you come from?" And they get into this big old fight. And like Valerie said, it's probably the best fight scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I love a good fight scene.
Uh-huh.
The truck falls over and they still fighting.
Right. That's what, partially made it pretty cool. And then she in the front, and she started fighting the driver. So yeah, that was a pretty good scene right there.
Yep.
And then at the end, when they actually do finish beating these dudes up, Colt tries to make it to karaoke.
Him and the dog running through the streets.
Yeah, running like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Trying to get to karaoke to see Jodi. But Jodi is gone.
Jodi is gone, but Dan, the stuntman boss, is there. And so is another co-worker of theirs who works kind of like with the computers and stuff, kind of like the IT department of this movie, I guess. And Colt asks her if she can get into this phone.
Yeah.
And she says, well, it might take me a couple of days. And he does give her the phone, but it ends up taking her a lot less time to crack the phone.
So there's a part though when Colt is in the house, he's looking for the password. You remember that? And he finds it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay.
He finds it on the refrigerator.
Out that part, I said. She says it'll take a couple of days, and he's like, we don't have that kind of time.
Right.
So he and Dan go back to Tom's apartment.
Right.
Because Colt saw all these sticky notes laying around that he knew had important information on them. So he's hoping that he'll find the password on one of those sticky notes.
And he does.
Yep.
So they get into the phone and they find a video with Tom accidentally kills his stuntman playing around. The stuntman said something Tom didn't like. Yep.
And so Tom kicked him and knocked his block off.
Yeah, he I think the stuntman was like saying Tom probably couldn't do his own stunts or something like that. And he took offense to that, like he think he tough, And so he done kicked the dude and kicked him. The dude fell into the table. Yeah, toe up.
You can't come back from that.
Dead. So that's who Colt saw in the bathtub.
Right. Yep. That's when we figure out who was in the bathtub.
And so then we see on the news that Colt is a suspect in the murder. And they have video of him leaving the hotel room.
Right.
Which is crazy that he's a suspect now because the body disappeared. So when did they get the body? Did we see that? I don't know. But yeah,
maybe I don't know. I think his body might be still missing.
Yeah.
And they think Cole has something to do with it.
Maybe so. But they're saying suspect in the murder.
Yeah.
So they might have a body, but
they might.
But yeah, they got video of him leaving the hotel room. So, but then they go back to when Dan and Colt are at Tom's mansion and they get attacked.
By a bunch of bad guys.
So they in there. Here's another fight scene for you.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I think this is when the phone ended up getting shot.
Yep.
Okay.
And they end up losing it.
Yeah.
At that point. One of the bad guys shot the phone and it flew out of Dan's hand.
Yeah.
And we don't know where it went.
And so Dan escapes, but Colt ends up on Tom's yacht.
Yep.
And he's getting tortured and beat up, and they want to know where the phone is.
So he lands on Tom's yacht, but it wasn't on purpose.
Right.
He jumped as he was running away from the bad guys, and he just happened to land on a boat that happened to be Tom's boat.
Right. So
and Tom is like, "Oh, this is perfect.
Right.
Let me torture some information out of you."
Exactly. Like, I need my phone, sir.
So I can set you up and send you to jail for murder.
And so, yeah, they want the phone, but then Colt tells them, he said, it got destroyed. And so Tom like, oh, well, I don't need you there.
Exactly.
And so then they try to set Colt on fire.
Yep, they pour all this gasoline on him. And what's funny is, as I was watching this, they start pouring the gasoline on him. And he deliberately opens his mouth and takes in a gulp of gasoline. And I sat there and thought, why would he let them put that gasoline in his mouth?
Yeah.
Not thinking that, that's part of his plan. Right. He got something up his sleeve. So, oops, my bad. He has a mouthful of gasoline that they don't realize. And when the guy lights the match to put him on fire, Colt blows the gasoline out his mouth. Genius.
So that dude caught on fire, didn't he?
And Colt hopped up and ran off.
Yep. Colt manages to escape on another boat, I think.
He hops on another boat, but his hands are still tied up.
Yeah.
But he can somehow drive this boat.
He's a stunt man. So, but before he gets away, before I think they set him on fire, Tom reveals that Colt's accident was not an accident. That Tom had him fall on purpose.
Because Colt did something
he didn't
like. Just like this other stuntman that he done now killed.
Yep.
He could have killed Colt.
Oh, yeah.
Falling down all of stories.
Definitely.
He could have killed Colt. So Colt is like, wait, what? That was you?
Yeah. So
wow. You dirty.
Very.
Dirty.
So they split back to Jody and Gail. And because Jody sees the news with Colt on there. And Gail is trying to convince Jody that Colt is guilty.
Right. Of course.
But how she know? How would she know anyway?
How would she know?
So, yeah, she's trying to convince him, she's trying to frame Colt pretty much to clear Tom.
She been in on it from jump.
Her big star.
People are greedy.
Very.
People are so greedy because this man has killed somebody.
Yeah.
And instead of you going to the police, you try to cover it up so he can make you some more money.
Right. You go out of your way to call Colt in a whole nother country.
Yep.
To bring him here to frame him.
Yep.
Like,
over
you
some
dirty.
Money.
Dude almost killed him already. And now you just want to ruin his whole life.
Yes, exactly.
So, selfish, some of them.
Selfish and greedy.
So, we go back to Colt. You know, he's on the run. He escapes from these guys. He's in this little boat. And they chasing him down. And they shooting at him. All kind of stuff. And so, he sees this, I don't even know what to call it. It's like kind of like a dock or something in the water.
Yeah.
Where he gets this idea to
crash into it.
Yeah. And try to fake his death.
Yep.
And so, and I say that, but, you know, nobody knows it's a fake until. But yeah, so he crashes into this thing in the water and there's this big explosion. And so the bad guys think he's dead.
Yeah, because they also find his jacket floating in the water.
Right.
But nobody. Like, that's what I don't get. If ain't nobody found.
Yeah.
Man, that don't mean nothing.
It don't. Ain't even no blood on the jacket. I mean,
and he a stunt man, which means he used to crashing in the stuff.
Right. That's his whole job.
Exactly.
So, but they fell for it. And so he calls Judy to tell her what's going on.
Jody.
Oh, Jody. He calls Jody to tell her what's going on. So the video of Tom killing the stuntman has been altered with Colt's face.
Yep.
So now we see that, and we know that previously when Colt got to set, they were scanning his face, saying it was for the movie.
Yeah.
You know, they needed his likeness.
But that means somebody had to have found the phone. The phone that was shot. Because that's the only place that the video existed.
Is that true? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if that was the only recording or if that was another recording they're just trying to make sure they get rid of. That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, they did. They used that video and put Colt's face on it, and now it's all over the news.
Right.
And so Jody is trying to she sees the video. You know, you believe your eyes, right? So she's like, man, Colt did this?
Right.
And so the thing that I think is interesting about that part too is that Colt wasn't even there. I mean, she didn't know necessarily when he got there, but Colt wasn't part of Colt. He wasn't part of the movie. And so why would he be there hanging out with Tom and his stuntman?
I guess she also doesn't know the timeline of everything, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was saying. You don't know when he got to Australia, but you also don't know, when did the stuntman go missing?
Right.
I mean, there's research you can do to see if a person has entered another country.
Oh, yeah.
But at the time of death. And so Colt wasn't even there.
Right. But we don't have a time of death yet because they kept him on ice, too.
That's
so
true.
Keeping him on ice can skew some things.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the investigator in me.
Well, yeah. I could see all those questions, but I could also see how she would fall for it.
Yeah. Well, I could definitely see her because it's on TV. You know, a lot of times we believe what we see on TV. And even now with AI and all this stuff, you can't. Just like I saw the other day, this weight loss video. And she was saying, I'm Kelly Clarkson. And you could clearly see that it was not Kelly Clarkson. They had faked her face on this body to try to say this is how she lost the weight. And I was like, wow. Because at first I was like, oh, Kelly. And then I was watching it like, this is not Kelly Clarkson. Yeah. They're trying to fool us out here.
Always.
Yeah. So Colt sneaks into Jody's trailer.
And he's wearing an alien costume, so you can't tell who is inside the costume. But not only that, he also has on this voice modulator thing, or whatever you call it. So when he speaks, you can't hear his real voice either.
Yeah. Okay.
And so Jody is caught off guard and she starts beating him up.
Okay. Jody been taking some classes or something. Because she letting him have it. I know he got that costume on though, so that's a hindrance. But yeah, she giving it to him. So they have a big old fight scene.
Yep.
And but he finally gets free to either show his face or say, it's me.
He got to take the mask off.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, sorry about that.
Right. She done stabbed him in the leg with a pin and everything.
She ain't messing around. Don't mess with Jody, okay? Mm-hmm. And so Colt, explains everything that's going on to her.
Yep.
And they had this big romantic scene where they have a little smooch. And then Gail, here come Gail, knocking at the door. So Colt has to hide. Mm-hmm. Oh, Gail tells Jody that she needs to take a break and she'll take over the film for her. But Jody not going for it. She like, this my film.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Gail out of pocket.
And she think Jody just won't go for it. I don't know if it's because, Jody used to be on the camera side. She kind of new to directing and all this stuff. So if Gail just thinks she can run over her because of all of this, I don't know. But Jody like, She's like, this is my film. So when Gail leaves, Colt and Jody come up with a plan to get Tom to confess.
Yep. And so the plan is for Colt to coax or
they're trying to
get a confession out of Tom.
Yeah.
Basically by scaring him. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So they plan on shooting a scene where Tom is in a car, but he's supposed to just be like in a fake car driving on a fake little conveyor belt thing or something like that.
Because he doesn't do stunts.
He doesn't do stunts. And so Colt is going to hop into the car and handcuff Tom into the car and take off and try to do that.
Jody convinces Tom to put on the handcuffs.
Oh,
like it's part of the scene. It'll make it more realistic or whatever,
Yeah.
And so while he's handcuffed in the car, Colt jumps in.
Yep. And Colt takes off. And so they driving off. Mm-hmm. And Tom is scared for his life. Because first of all, he thought he was dead. He thought Colt was dead.
That's true.
And so he knows that Colt knows all his dirt. So he's scared of whatever Colt has up his sleeve.
Yeah.
But Colt tells him straight up, I'm trying to get you to confess to murder. And Tom says, that's coercion. That ain't gonna work in the court of law. But it worked.
It did work. Okay.
He got him to confess.
And Jody got it all recorded.
Yep.
And so here come Gail again. She gets the recording. Right? She gets the recording. And she's trying to escape with it in a helicopter. I don't know. I guess it's a lot of bad guys that we don't really know about because she got help.
She has help. But so do Jody and Colt because they got the stuntmen helping them out too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so here's another huge stunt scene where Colt and them, there's a whole fight in the helicopter and Colt falling out and all of this stuff. So, but he manages to get the video, the recording back. It looks like, he falls out the helicopter and they catch him.
They catch him with that stuntman net.
Right. The big old blow up thing or whatever.
Yep.
Then we see Gail and Tom getting arrested.
Yep. So
Jody releases the film with a new star,
Jason Momoa.
So I'm like, dang, they re-recorded the whole thing?
Right. They don't look nothing like Tom.
Nothing at all. Size, all of that. And so they said the movie is a huge success. Jody and Cole get back together, and they lived happily ever after, I guess.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Who knows? The end.
Right. So we did a quick review recap of the Fall Guy for you guys today. And now, Amanda, anything else you want to add to the story?
No, I think we can get right into our ratings.
Okay. You want to start with how many buckets of popcorn you giving this one?
Sure. I give this one 2.5 buckets of popcorn. I didn't care for this movie at all. So the 2.5 is kind of high. And I love Emily Blunt. I think she is great.
Yeah, she is.
I've seen so many movies of hers that I loved her in, but I did not care for her in this role as Jodie. I don't know if this was the way they intended for her to play Jodie, but
yeah,
I just didn't care for it. She was, I don't know, just the way she spoke. Sometimes her voice annoyed me. I don't know what happened to Emily, but she just didn't seem. Maybe I expected her to be Emily Blunt and she wasn't, or maybe I expected her to be a character from another movie I've seen her in and she wasn't. But I didn't care for her in this movie. I didn't find this movie funny. I feel like people are saying this movie had a lot of funny parts in it. I can't remember if it's dubbed as a comedy, but I didn't find much humor in this movie. The storyline had some holes, and so I just wasn't a fan.
Right.
What'd you think?
I'm thinking I'm gonna give it 3 buckets. Because I think that they had some good things in the movie as far as some of the stunt scenes and some of the storyline, but overall, I don't know. It was like a hodgepodge. I don't know. I didn't care for it. I didn't feel like some of the stuff they did in here was necessary. Just like the whole when he breaks into her, what is it, trailer with the costume on. I think this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
and the whole fight scene, right? It's supposed to be funny, but it's not. So it's like a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah,
like this movie probably could have been great.
Yep, I agree.
But it's just, I don't know. I think they're trying to do too many things. I mean, because we got the love story, then we got the whole mystery of these two guys and Cole. It's just, I don't know, because I love action movies. I love a good rom-com. Because it makes me think of like something, if it was better, like a Tom Cruise movie. But if Tom Cruise makes, awesome movies, I don't know what to say. Just like him and Emily Blunt did that one movie. I wish I can remember the name of it. That I think is great. They like action. Tom? Yeah, Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. It's this action movie where he keeps
the alien movie.
Yes,
I saw that not too long ago. End of Days movie. Or
well, he keeps reliving. Like he keeps dying over and over.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I love that movie. Okay, so I just feel like, I don't know, it's the writing, the directing, it just didn't come together. Yeah. Like this is one of those, like, typically we'll try to watch a movie again so we can really get into it and give you all the deets.
Right.
But this is one where we didn't want to watch it again. Nope. Please don't make me watch it again.
Nope.
So look, some people love it, and that's how things go. But this is not for us right here.
Nope. And also, the movie was called Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. I love Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. I think they're both great in it, and I think this had opportunity to be funny and good like that. It just didn't. Yeah. It just didn't work.
Yeah, and I also thought this one was too long. Because when we were in the movie theater watching it, and the scene after he blows up and we realize he's still alive, and he goes to Jodie and tells her, like, I didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't expect this big drawn out scene of them trying to catch Tom.
Okay.
I wanted them to go to the police and be like, this film has been doctored. And the police be like, you're right. This has been messed with, tampered with. And so after that, I was done. I was ready for it to be over with. I wanted them to wrap it up. This movie was over 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And after that 2 hour mark, I feel like movies gotta really be good.
There you go.
To keep your attention.
Yeah.
And keep you invested. And this one didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it too, is that Jodie's nice and all, but I'm not like invested in Jodie. Like, you know,
yeah,
I'm not like, oh, Jodie, you want her to win and get the guy, and it's like Jodie, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we are with the Fall Guy, and also, you know, the old show. I'm old enough to remember the old show.
Yeah, I had never heard of it or seen it or anything.
I don't think that, you know, movies do that though. They come out and with the name, but change
it up.
Yeah. The old one, I don't recall it being comedic like this, you know. Or, you know, this is trying to be. Right. This is more silly in parts, but a lot of it just doesn't go over. So
yeah.
But all right, you guys. I think that's it for this week's episode
of The Fall Guy.
Yep. So y'all come back, you know, as always, like, comment, follow, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.